Hi Aries, welcome to the full moon for July 20th and 21st of 2024. Full moons close out cycles. We're making some endings here. The direction that this reading is going in is number 4 energy, true love. Okay, so number 4 is always about foundation. 4 feet on the ground, right? Keeping things steady, creating good foundation for empowerment. But it's also a number where things can be a bit too rigid. Things don't roll, right? You have to push them along a little bit. But this card is true love, and it is the source of real connection. So on a very practical level, the card upright, which it did come up upright, can signal the coming of a new admirer in your life. This could be in the form of romantic love or a new boss or co-worker, somebody who respects and appreciates you. But it does send an important message about yourself as well, because obviously the world is a reflection, and how you view and care for yourself is reflected in the people that surround you or that you come up against. So the higher your regard for yourself, the greater the ability to manifest your deeper desires. So you may have found it a bit difficult to appreciate and acknowledge yourself in the past, but things seem as if they're changing with this card. Okay. It is upright, so I'm going to leave it at that. There's no negative connotation to this, and that's really nice. All right, so as usual, the first column is the column of where you find yourself at the time of the full moon, or if you are consciously closing out a cycle or a situation. You're going to find that here. The second column is you and how you feel about the situation, what you're thinking, what you're doing, but it is you. Oh, okay. The last column is the probable outcome, probable because some things we are able to change, some things we're meant to experience, always for our growth. And this reading is about navigating this full moon. Oh, that's interesting. Fire and water. Interesting. And both very expansive energies, the pages. It's really nice, especially where true love is concerned. Ah, okay. There it is. All right. It seems to me like there's some things going on behind the scenes here with the High Priestess card. Now, true to this card here, this card really does ask you to consider the structure, right? The number 4, the foundation, the structure on which you build upon. It's a major arcana, so it's how you build, what you build your life on, your principles, your core principles, the things that you find sacred, right? It can mean things going on behind the scenes, things that you're unaware of. It's a very secretive kind of card. But for me, it really does have a lot to do with your core principle, your structures, what you believe in, what you believe is sacred. Again, she has the Torah here tucked away in her sleeve. It's a little bit secretive, right? She doesn't have to come out and say it. It's not for anybody else. It's for her. It's a very passive card. Rather, it's more of a receptive card. because if the Magician is that male outgoing solar energy, this is more of the receptive lunar energy. And it seems like we could be receiving, actually, a message. The Knight of Wands is a message for me. And it's a message that could get things a little bit fiery or riled up or wound up. It's a very erratic energy, but it's also a very passionate energy, especially where true love is concerned. So I do know that Venus has gone visible, and for a lot of people there is a lot of love, romantic energy, self-love, everything that Venus is growth, right? Everything that Venus is associated with. But oddly enough, maybe it's a secret admirer, because, and maybe you're just going to hear about it or or something like that, because indeed the High Priestess is really things that are going on behind the scenes. Maybe there's something secretive a person who loves you is doing for you. That's also possible. In the way that they show their love might be something going on behind the scenes, and certainly not in a negative way in this case. Associated with that is the Hermit card, which is, for me, related to Virgo. Yeah, this is a searching card. For somebody could be seeking out information about you. That's possible here. I don't have my spy card, which would be the Page of Swords, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't be asking about you or inquiring about you or looking up social media. It doesn't have to be spying per se, but the Hermit is gathering information, and so if somebody is inquiring about you or the things that you like, maybe there's a nice surprise going on. Because of this card, it feels very much like secretive, kind of. The High Priestess is things going on behind the scenes. And the Hermit card is gathering information. Now what they do is they gather this information, they collect it, they mull it over, and this might even be you. You might be doing this for somebody as well, because we have the Knight of Wands here and the Page of Wands can be connected. But you also have the King of Wands over here, so it's a very passionate energy. Somebody may even get a surprise engagement. That's also possible for some people here that I can see. The Hermit takes in information, digests it, and turns the knowledge that he's collected, into wisdom. Is a guiding light, a guiding star. But there is some kind of guidance, because this is the star from the star card. But it's contained at the moment. But so something is being very internalized here. Could be information that we're receiving or getting with that Knight of Wands. Like I said, for me, this is messages. These are messages that we receive electrically, emails. That's why I'm saying maybe they're checking out your profile or something. Email, phone calls, text messages, that sort of thing. But it does feel very secretive and very internalized. Now, if this is you, you could be considering, especially where this card is concerned, true love, you're kind of doing a deep dive. And remember, this talks also about how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, how you treat yourself. When she's looking in the mirror, she's looking at herself, right? So there is the connection to higher self here. So you can be exploring those things too, especially with the High Priestess and the Hermit card. They're both rather spiritual cards. And like I said, the major arcana are the things that go on an internal level for us. It's our internal growth. Interestingly enough, though, the High Priestess card is ruled by the moon, so this moon in Aquarius may have something to do with it. And Aquarius is about information, and both of these cards are information for me. So there's the real feeling of sort of secretive information, or information that maybe we're not telling, or information receiving from higher self. That kind of thing. And that information can come in many forms. It can come in podcasts, it can come in the things that people say to you, but it's the information that you are attracted to, and that maybe in the quieter moments kind of come up in your mind, and you think about them and you ponder them, again with that hermit energy and the High Priestess. It feels deeper to me. It feels quite a deep energy. I do want to pull one more for that for some reason. Yeah, the Lovers. So this is the choice card, right? And again, the third major arcana in this column, which is where you find yourself at the time of the full moon. So I think the full moon is going to have you quite internal, Aries. And I think you're going to be thinking about a lot of, there's probably going to be a depth to what you're thinking and how you're thinking about things on a passionate level. The Lover's card is a choice. And the deeper meaning of this card is the choice can be something between something that's quite sexual or lust, right? The other type of love that is more romantic or motherly, or, you know, we love the house that we live in, or we love the clothes that we wear, but that kind of more mother matter material, right? So these can be the passionate kind of more egotistical love. This is the more motherly, maternal matter love. And this is the highest love, which is compassion. And if it is something that you are turning towards yourself, perhaps there's some thoughts that are some existential thoughts, some thoughts that make you think beyond the material that you are. However, it can also just be a choice in love. And we're mulling it over, we're really thinking about it, whether this is you or somebody who you're dealing with. I do feel that we're quite internal thinking about love. Now again, it doesn't have to be romantic partnership, it could be parental, right? Again, motherly love. It could be familial, it could be friendly, friendship. And it can be, first and foremost, self-love. Okay, the center card, you have the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. And this is how you're behaving. So you are fire and water. You are running between your passion and your emotion here. They're both very expansive energies. They're the young energies, but they want to know, right? They want to know, they want to feel, they want to experience, they want to have those passionate moments, and they want to feel them on a very deep level. But again, the Page of Cups is somebody who goes quite deep within their emotion, and the Page of Wands is somebody who goes deep in their philosophy. So there's a very philosophical energy to this reading, a deep thinking energy, and deep diving, a deep emotion. The Page of Cups, however, can be a bit of a naive energy, and with the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, there can be this energy of also I don't want to say immature love for some of you, not for everybody. You could be considering, right, because we're talking about choice here, you could be considering 2 romantic partners at this time and trying to make a choice and really taking a deep dive into this idea. If it's friendship, let's say, maybe you are also deciding between 2 friends. Okay, so we have the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles are challenges that we face together. So it does feel like there are people around you that you can be offering your philosophical interpretations, your spiritual with the Page of Cups, ideals, and you could also be dealing with maybe imbalance where finance and health are concerned with the 5 of Pentacles. Or maybe you are dealing with people who have those situations, but these are challenges that we face together. So even if somebody close to you is having challenges, it kind of hits close to home for you. You really feel it. Page of Cups is somebody who feels things very deeply, highly intuitive, so and often very empathic. It is the empath card, and so those things can really touch you very deeply when somebody that you love or are concerned for are out of balance. And it kind of can throw you out of balance as well if you're not careful. And so you do want to be careful of that. However, it could affect you financially or it can affect you physically. One of the things that this card cautions you, though, is not to go into lack consciousness with this card. Perhaps you're somebody who is offering help, offering your wisdom, or you're receiving it, one or the other, and you're not listening, or you don't want it, or they're not listening and they don't want it. That's also a possibility with this card. But you seem to be, or there's something coming into the situation, but this is you and how you're behaving. And so it seems to me like you want to be the knight in shining armor here. You're somebody who wants to kind of help the situation. And it feels to me like you're helping to take on the challenge. And this is, the night comes in very quickly, so maybe there can be solutions that come in very quickly and unexpectedly, but it can leave just as quick. And maybe it's just a quick solution and that's all you need it to be. That's also possible here. The caution of the Page of Wands is it can be quite a stubborn energy. Their motto is, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. They believe so deeply in their philosophy that they really do expect everybody else to believe the same thing. So that's a cautionary bit where the Page of Wands is concerned, and where the Page of Cups is concerned. So Sagittarius and Pisces. Pisces would be naivety. Being naive in something. Maybe we have had the feeling of we've been in a relationship before and it didn't go well. So I find it quite interesting that I have the King of Wands here, and that is something, an energy that's moving in to a romantic situation for somebody. And it seems to come out of nowhere. So it's very possible that somebody watching has had some difficulty where relationships are concerned, and they're a little bit like, I don't really want to do that anymore. My philosophy is I can handle things on my own. It's been too painful. The naivete that I had in other relationships have kind of hardened me to situations or romantic, or even business partnerships. You know, it could be that as well, because it's the Five of Pentacles. It's matter. It's the material world, but it's left us pretty imbalanced, feeling very imbalanced. But the Knight of Swords is something or someone that comes in quickly. It's the knight in shining armor that comes in to save the day, whether it's a person or a situation or a solution. Now again, this is the card of you, you know, what you're doing, and so it can very well be, if it was here, I would say it could very well be this person coming in. But it is you and how you're behaving. And so it's very possible that for somebody, they want to be the knight in shining armor. They're the ones that want to be the helpful individual. The Six of Wands and the King of Wands. The Six of Wands is, I say engagement because it can be a marriage card or an engagement card. It is victory within group situations. It is sort of, so 5, the frequency of 5 is imbalance, and it is an imbalance that pushes us to find balance within 6. Now you have 6 on this side, you have 6 on that side, so that's a pretty nice balance. But there are some choices that need to be made. And the Six of Wands is saying probably we're making some good choices, and it gets us over the hump a little bit. It gets us the next step up. We're not fully there yet with the 6, right? We haven't realized, or we're not at the end of it, but we have gotten over the hump. We have gotten over that difficult point. And it can be through this situation, this Knight of Swords, or whatever solution or person that came in to help the situation. I'm going to have another card there. Okay, so it can be a King of Cups. Now, that reiterates also that Page of Cups, but the question in my mind was, well, what's coming in? And I do have the King of Cups there. This is the calm in the storm. This is somebody with round features. They could have slightly turned down eyes. It is associated with Cancer for me, so they may be somebody who can be a bit stoic, but their heart is so good. The problem is that they are so sensitive that they can put out a hard outer shell, and that's that stoicism. However, they're the calm in the storm. And maybe you find that calmness in the storm through this person or through a situation. Now, Six of Wands is telling me there is victory where this situation is concerned. And it's with a group of people. And remember, with the Five of Pentacles, I said this is challenges that we face together. And you seem to be the Knight of Swords here. Perhaps you're the calm in the storm. Perhaps you're the one who uses your philosophical, expansive ideas and your empathic love for humanity or for whoever you're dealing with. And perhaps you're the one who's showing true love to somebody who really needs it. And it's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. It's just really nice. Now, the King of Wands is my Aries card. So this is going to be somebody long in features, a long face, long eyes, long hands, long body. There's length to them, like a fire, right? Like a tall fire. They are people who are sort of the ones that go in first. They're trailblazers. With that, they can kind of on the negative side be a bit of a know-it-all. The fire, the wands are passion, and so with passion comes ego. And so that's kind of one of the lessons that fire has to learn, is how to balance their ego. But the King of Wands can have sort of a, sometimes, not always, but sometimes a bit of a know-it-all attitude. But they are trailblazers, and they're not afraid to go in first. They're pretty self-sufficient people, but they are passionate and about what it is that they do. They can be great managerial type of people, but because it's Aries, they can also want to be working for themselves kind of personality. Okay. So, I mean, we do have choice here for somebody. We may be making a choice between a King of Swords and a King of Wands. Now, the King of Swords is associated with Libra for me, but this can also be, remember, we're in a group situation here. There are challenges and choices that we're making. It doesn't have to be about people, like I said, but it can be very material with that Five of Pentacles. So let's say you have a business, right, that you really love, and possibly it's in trouble. This is just a scenario, it's a general reading. There can be legal matters when the King of Swords comes up. It's Libra. Libra can, so these people, or this male version usually, and it doesn't have to be male, they may just have a very solar energy with them, right? Just that very male energy. They are usually sharp in features. They are people who don't usually allow emotion to in their decision making. They are facts and figures kind of people. These can be military, police, anybody with a sort of a regimented mind or how they go about things. This is somebody who is mastering their mental world, mastering their passionate world, mastering their emotional world. But you have victory in group situations, so these two people can be very helpful in some challenges that you may be facing at this time. Okay. This energy, the Nine of Wands, is sort of biding your time, so you may not act right away, or after you kind of get over the hump, after you kind of get over this bit of a challenge, you can be steady, and then you might wait to make a choice. I do have the feeling that we don't want to make the same mistakes we have in the past, and so we kind of are biding our time. That's the meaning of this card, but it's also the experiences that we've had that we're a bit protective over. It gives me a very defensive, protective energy as well. This is the walking wounded. Like I said, we've made mistakes before. We don't want to do it again. So this is the walking wounded card. And it can give, I mean, we're looking at Sagittarius and we're looking at the fire, a lot of fire here, a lot of passion. And sometimes that can create an energy of, on a mild level, a little bit of a paranoid feeling. Like you're looking over your shoulder, or you just don't feel like you want to make the same mistakes that you've done before. And so very cautious energy, but also defensive and protective of what has gone on in the past, and a little bit leery of letting it happen again. And so we wait and see. We wait to see what's going to happen. It's that kind of energy. Interesting reading. So I do think that within these next, within this lunar period, maybe by the end of the 2 weeks, we're still going to be a little bit cautious, even though we do get over a situation that has been challenging for us. We kind of level it a little bit, but there seems to be like there's more to go, and we're just not ready to make that decision just yet. So what does Spirit suggest? Laughter. It's very possible for some of you that you're taking things overly seriously. Whenever I do, my guides always tell me that I'm taking things just too serious, and to sort of lighten up. And this does feel like a bit of a heavy mood. The King of Cups, and if that's you, and you have King of Cups, you have Pisces, and you have the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands has a really good sense of humor, but when they're upset, they're very upset. As the Page of Cups, but with the King of Cups, there can be a kind of a moodiness there, and especially when it's lunar, right? Aquarius is also, I think, an energy that can really get into their head a little bit too much and overthink things, because it's information. It can be too much information and a flux of information. So in a way, I think laughter is saying to try to lighten up during this period or not take anything overly serious. And it's very often that, especially with the choice card, that decisions are usually made at the right time, when it's imperative and when it's quite necessary. Then we have to make that decision, or the decision happens for us if we can't do it ourselves. So I do think that laughter card is saying try and enjoy life a little bit more, or again, try not to feel too victimized. Again, I don't know what the situation is for everybody, so sometimes we just are a victim. But find what brings you some joy and pleasure and laughter when you can. Okay? All right. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for listening. I'll return in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. Enjoy the full moon, rather.